Hello, hello, hello. Test, test, test. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope you guys all had a very good day. Loki's climbing up my back again and it hurts. He has some of those claws out right now after sharpening them with some rocks. And hey Ray, happy to see you back. Hi Tyson guys. Let's go over here very fast. So, we should talk a little about Bitcoin, a little bit about what happened for today. Stop it. Stop it. He wants a treat or something, but he's not going to get one out. He gave him one upstairs. Uh, Wagging your tail doesn't do anything. Um, but anyway, guys, as far as what happened today, this is pretty much what we expected, to be frank, right? If I go over here to FinViz, what did we see? Sideways action, sideways action. This is what we thought was going to happen. Hey Haram, hey Puma, hey GOP Ovodio. I can't pronounce the name properly, but I'm sorry. But you guys, what we saw today was basically the market going sideways, and that's pretty much what we were talking about yesterday, or what I was talking about yesterday, right? We are facing some major levels of resistance. And, as soon as the market closed, I hopped on and I was having Fox Business on my phone and CNBC on my TV. And I was trying to listen for some of the earnings plays that were coming out today. And the big one that was coming out today was Microsoft. And then when Microsoft came out earlier today, guys, Microsoft actually had some really good a really good pop. So let me just go over here. Let's go over here very fast. Let's just go to the 5. And you'll see that, Microsoft pretty much had a stagnant day as well because it was an earnings day. Earnings came out, and everybody thought the news was very, very, very good here. And you saw futures were actually popping off really well because of that. And even Bitcoin had a little bit of a pop a while ago. Not a large pop, but a little bit of a pop. And, what ended up happening, it looks like, is during the actual earnings call, everybody, their guidance went down drastically from all the good stuff that they kind of promoted in the beginning of their their earnings report. So unfortunately, that let me see what this pop ended up being like. We can just go from kind of right here, maybe that 5.5% pop that we saw. It went all the way back down here, and it's currently at about a 5.5%. So kind of a little bit less than where we closed the day off of. Not good news as far as earnings is concerned. I think we could look at it right here. Microsoft forecast suggests gloomy tech environment will continue. Guess what follows tech? Bitcoin. Now, we can always hope that Bitcoin can try to separate off of the traditional Nasdaq and S&P for the next few weeks. We can always hope for that, but it's always going to make it that much harder here. So I just want to read a little bit about this article very fast, just to give you guys a little bit of information, because this was the thing that really the market didn't like right now. Okay, and if I go over here to CNBC, the reason why the futures are down right now is primarily off of the Microsoft news, because Microsoft, the initial news was good. Once you heard the phone call, it wasn't like terrible doomsday type stuff, but it was like, oh, this isn't the good stuff that we thought we were going to get when you gave us the report earlier, right? So let me hop over here very fast. And hey, Max, hope you're doing well. Hey, Joni, I've gotten Itch, GOP again, and Richard Bloomstein. Hope you guys are doing very, very well today. So, Microsoft executives on Tuesday told analysts to expect a continuation of the weak pace of business that emerged in December. We've all talked about those graphs at length at this point, right? Which hurt the software maker's fiscal second quarter results. In our commercial, open quote, I guess you would say, in our commercial business, we expect business trends that we saw at the end of December to continue into Q3. We're in Q1 right now. Q3 is all the way, kind of around September, August type of time. The chief financial officer said on the conference call. In particular, he saw less growth than expected in Microsoft's 365 productivity software subscriptions, identity and security services, and business-oriented Windows products. Just think of less businesses kind of opening up, less people needing to get their business software. Most people just go to Google nowadays because it's cheaper, it's free, and if you do have to pay for something, you're paying for the data storage, not necessarily just to use the service, right? Now, the company sells products such as Xbox consoles and Surface PCs to consumers, but most of its revenue comes from commercial clients such as companies, schools, and governments. Makes sense. That's where the impact will show up. A metric dubbed Microsoft Cloud, including Azure, commercial subscriptions to Microsoft 365, commercial LinkedIn services, and Dynamics 365 enterprise software, now represents 51% of total sales. That's a lot. So if commercials are going to be downgrading and laying off staff, they're not going to need as many subscriptions or to pay as much money to Microsoft to actually, they're not going to need as many of the services, and their profits will come down, unfortunately, because of that. Which is why you've already started to see some of these layoffs coming about, right? And you can always hear here, Large organizations are optimizing their spending on cloud services, a key area of growth for Microsoft. That behavior also played out in the first fiscal quarter in October. Amazon also talked about how it had been helping cloud customers optimize their costs. So, um, they talked about it a little bit right here. Joe says the recession has already been priced into the markets. I disagree with him a lot on this. I think what's being priced in is the Fed giving up on raising interest rates and actually starting to cut them sometime in 2023. I don't think the market is pricing in the Federal Reserve keeping rates high and the economy going kaput. Not drastically kaput, but going into a recession, right? Okay, so that was kind of the bad news that really set all this stuff in motion, or just kind of compounded the bad news, the technical news that we had from Bitcoin. We've already been talking about this for a while, and I'm not going to really stress it too much more. But if you guys watched the stream last night, you guys know I was reiterating and telling you guys be careful for when we close down below that 20 moving average in the 4-hour chart. We did it just about, I would say, about 2 hours ago, and we are still continuing to go down here. Not the end of the world, like I said before. We still have a level of support. Put that back down here. But at this point in time, that level of support is about 300 bucks down. Okay, so let me just zoom out here. I know it's not going to look pretty, but we're above this trend line right now for the first time ever. It's been very, very good. This was our first attempt to break out of it because every other time we even got like just moderately back up a little bit, we continue to tank back down. This is a very good sign for like the next few months of Bitcoin. Maybe we come back down a little bit, but at least we've kind of broken that downtrend. You know, but something that's going to feel a little bit more painful, of course, is if we decide to break back down below this trend line here, because as of now, this is acting as a pretty sturdy level of support. If we break that level of support again, then we start to have to look like what's our next level of support then? It's like 21,852. Then we start crashing back down to 21 and a half all the way here to $20,000 or 20 and a half thousand, excuse me. Which, let me just show you here. Go back down here. That's about 5% down for Bitcoin. 5% down for Bitcoin. You can only imagine what that'll do to the altcoins here. So again, no reason to really panic right here, but so far, our first daily attempt to break out above this SPY, the NASDAQ resistance levels, it really didn't go so well. And the fact that we had some of those bad Microsoft earnings, it really didn't help at all. The only thing I would tell you guys from a pattern perspective is just be careful. Now, officially, we have a shoulder here. We could possibly be looking at some type of head to come up and then maybe another shoulder to come up later on. But for now, we just have to worry about staying above this trend line right there and also keeping an eye on the 20-day moving average here. We have a few more days until we would probably run into this unless Bitcoin fully capitulated today, which, well, it could happen. I don't think the market's going to be totally devastated just by Microsoft's earnings, or I hope it's not after all the nice pump that SPY and NASDAQ have had. Go over here to the NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ saw the green day. Well, it opened up, closed higher than it opened, but it still closed lower than what it was yesterday. So I guess it was a red day, but green candle. But we still didn't break out there. We also have to deal with the 200 daily moving average, and on the weekly charts, not much resistance there besides the trend line. The SPY has a little bit more resistance as we have to fight with the 50-week moving average and this level of resistance from the trend line. Again, same type of red day. We closed at a lower price than we closed yesterday, and not what we wanted to see, but not what we wanted to see, but what we expected to see. I guess that's the good way to talk about it. But for now, guys, as far as Bitcoin's concerned, just make sure we don't break down below that trend line. On the 4-hour chart, we did officially break down. Last time we broke down, we had a little bit of a dip. We crashed back down a little bit, and then we continued to pump back up. Right now, though, my only concern is because the 50 is getting closer and closer again, we got to make sure we don't have a death cross there, or this rally is going to probably take us back to at least down to this $20,500 level, which for Bitcoin, honestly, it won't be the end of the world. But again, we go over here to some of these other altcoins that have been really taking off as of late. Daily, you can see right now Ethereum Classic is trying to pull off a double top. Hopefully it doesn't break down below that level. But you can see we've had some substantial gains from December. Ethereum Classic up 61%. BNB up a whopping 47%. ADA up a whopping 60%. Was Dogecoin? I skipped that one. Dogecoin up a nice 42%. And that's basically the thing I want you guys to understand for today, okay? If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. It's really just about how Microsoft really didn't pan out the way we wanted to. But let me go over here to earnings. Earnings this week. Because we don't have to worry about interest rate hikes, I don't think, until February 2nd, I think is the date. Is this one better? Let me check out this one. So we're looking at today's Monday. Is it Monday? Gosh, I'm totally no, it's Tuesday. Okay. Wednesday later. Noteworthy earnings. There's not really any noteworthy. No, that's Monday. Where's Wednesday? Tuesday. 3 a.m. Wednesday. Ah, Tesla. That'll be interesting. So Tesla, that'll be a big mover for the market here coming up tomorrow. Anything else? Abbott Labs will be something to watch out for. AT&T will be something. Boeing will be with something. It looks like tomorrow is going to be a pretty big day. Las Vegas Sands, if you guys are concerned about what's happening over in Asia, that's going to be something for us. A little bit of energy companies in there as well. Anything else really? Textron, Steel Dynamics, some industrials. Oh, and Thursday's Visa. These next few days, guys, are going to be critical. Keep an eye out for those earnings reports. I'm hoping that most of these actually it doesn't tell us if they're pre-market or post-market, but keep an eye out for them, everybody. That's going to really be the big driver if Bitcoin does take that next leap up here towards 25,000, or if we start moving back down here to 21,000, $20,500, $20,000. CPI around the world starting to come back in hot. Well, a lot of countries stopped raising rates. They thought they were going to crush their economy, and again, that's the problem. America knows this because we messed up a lot in the 70s. Again, if I go over here to the Fed rate hikes chart, you'll see that in between the recessions and stuff, we've had a bad history of having to raise lower too early. We got to raise into a recession. Like the recession already started, we started to cut. Inflation started to go back up, so we had to bring them all the way back up. It's not good policy to keep on keeping like how do I say this? There's a scene in Pirates of the Caribbean where they're trapped in Davy Jones' locker, and they're sailing smooth, but they're trying to find their way out. But what Jack does is he gets everybody to start running to one side of the ship, then to the other side of the ship. That's what the Federal Reserve does if they keep on Federal Reserve, institutions around the country or the world do when they keep on raising lower, raising lower. It's making the ship uneasy, and nobody wants to be in an uneasy ship, so everybody pulls their money out. If as long as the Fed kind of stays with what they're doing, sure the market may go down, but the trust in the institutions should hold up, and people should flood back in there once the I'm going to be flooding in there while the chip is very choppy, right? But that's because you buy when things are looking like they're very bad. But most people freak out during those opportunities and those times, right? So we're like last year, Jack Sparrow said, "Ooh, what's that? Oh, it's inflation! Whoa, oh!" And then he's running back and forth right now, and we're now just starting to follow him, but we haven't really seen the ship start to really get too crazy, if that makes sense. Other countries are having some turbulence. I would say England is having a lot of turbulence right now as far as their economy is concerned. Europe is starting to get there. I think France is having some issues right now. France is having protests over their new policy that they're trying to implement as far as retirement ages and stuff. Peru's in crisis. Brazil had a little bit of a crisis, but not a big, crazy one. So it'll get worse, but the system should hold up. The only thing that goes against that system is I think that this new idea that's coming up, I'll probably make a short video about it or something, but the Great Reset that's been kind of dubbed out there. There's political twinges on the Great Reset. I won't get into that, but it's more of maybe this will be more of a financial crisis at the end of the day if things get really, really bad. And how do our banks and institutions hold up against such a crisis? That's doomsday scenario. I'm not there yet, but I'm aware that it could happen. I just hope it doesn't. Right? That would be a little too bad. Let's see. And hey, Richard, thanks, my man. I'm doing well. I'm thinking I'm going to Vegas in a couple weeks. No, March. I think I'm going to go to Vegas in March. I think from March 24th to the 27th or something. One of my friends from Philadelphia is going to be down there working on a trade show. So I thought I might stay a couple nights at the Aria because I got some free nights there, and have some fun just chilling out by the pool. Not really doing much down there. Probably won't even gamble too much besides try out some good restaurants like I always do. and pretty much just spend a couple days to sit at the pool, sleep, and talk to random people that maybe are interesting. Hopefully they are. Bought a put when Adobe hit the 200 MA on the day. I'm up a few hundred. Hopefully the market goes down this week. Well, so Netflix, Microsoft is not good for tomorrow's market, so that should make it come down a little bit more. When the news came out during the Microsoft earnings that the guidance had been lower than expectations, you did see the futures come down here as well. So now the futures are down about 1%, 0.5% for the S&P, and the Dow's down about 0.26%. That's not good. I mean, we had this. I don't think YouTube will get mad if I play this here. Hold on 1 second. Let me just make sure that I don't have like an ad run on here very fast. That's going to be the big thing here. Push pause, push pause, push pause. Okay, so no ad. Okay, let me turn up the volume and you guys can hear what they were talking about. I think this is before the earnings turned bad during the call. When they first announced earnings, they were good. But the more you heard, Microsoft did people dirty on this one, to be honest. But yeah, the more you heard, the more Microsoft came back down. And just so you guys can see what I'm talking about here again. 5 minute pre-call, post-call, okay? You see how bad that call ended up being for Microsoft here. So a lot of what they're talking about is the news they have right here, not the news they have right there that kind of took everything down afterwards, okay? But here, you can listen to this
expectations being set extraordinarily low.
Without question.
Coming into the number, so it doesn't take much. As Kovac was saying, it's not like you skyrocketed over the bar.
No.
In terms of the Azure number that the street was at. I mean, you barely got over that hurdle.
Look, I think it goes back to 2023, 3,200 S&P calls, 4,800 S&P calls, balance emotionally somewhere in the middle, and understand, don't get too high, don't get too low, look to generate alpha opportunities and get paid to wait.
No, you know what
this is an example of that.
You know what the biggest problem may be? No matter what you say, and look, we have to wait for the call, okay? And the call's at
we have to wait for the call. They both agreed with that, but they were both he wasn't too excited, but this guy, Joe, was very, very excited about it.
5:30. So we have a little bit of time to wait on that. But Nadella, the CEO himself, told you. He told you don't buy our stock. We got another 2 years of pain ahead of us for the sector.
He did not say don't buy our stock.
He didn't say don't buy my stock, but for all intents and purposes, he said don't buy my stock. It's going to be another.
And I know you can't see it because I just paused it. Right here it says Microsoft Azure revenue growth. That's pretty much their cloud services, and cloud is really a growth generating or a wealth generation machine right now. Or it makes them a lot of money, and it's good that it's growing.
2 years of pain.
He did what a CEO should do in this environment. He guided to a very challenged environment. He's still investing in the business with the open AI investment. So he's making the investment there. He's doing what a CEO should be doing in this environment. And you've got the stock right now sitting at 253. Investors can make the decision.
You know what I meant.
Premium valuation isn't warranted, sell out of it right here. Take advantage of the rally after the close.
Well, what is the
A lot of people ended up doing that. A lot of people didn't until the call actually happened.
Appropriate multiple? The street's going to have to decide. And let's not forget that Microsoft year to date, as the rest of tech has been rallying, it hasn't.
It has not.
It's done nothing.
But
again, let's go to the daily chart. It's had a very small rally compared to everything else. The rally so far has been about 10%. So it's been a rally, just not, what you might call a Tesla rally, but Tesla crashed pretty hard. What's comparable? I would say Amazon rally. Right. Amazon rally about 17, 18%, a lot better, right? But still, it's been coming down a little bit more, even with this golden cross we're probably about to have here now. That breakout really fueled that short-term pump. Let's go back over here very fast.
There, in fact, lies the challenge where you've got negative momentum, you've got poor technical conditions for the stock. It's a conflict between fundamentals and technicals.
What about Texas Instruments? We turn our attention.
All right. We don't have to worry about Texas Instruments. That's more of a whole other sector. Let's just call that. It's important, but not what we're talking about here. So you guys get what I'm trying to say. This was not good. It was good. I mean, it was good in the beginning, but once you kind of heard the call, it wasn't good. But they're right about Microsoft technical is not too good. Amazon's doing a little bit better, but Amazon can definitely just come straight back down, unfortunately. So, I mean, so can everything. Depends on what trend lines you guys are using, right? So if we go over here, Amazon, right? We already broke out above that. I guess we could always change it to this one right here, that peak. Do we break out of this one? Yeah, but you can see it didn't really do anything. So we're kind of in this weird spot. If anything, we're still using it as a level of support. But after, it looks like, oh, with the Microsoft earnings today, it actually did drop down. It followed Microsoft's earnings today. Yeah, didn't it? When's earnings for Microsoft or Amazon? February 2nd. That's a while away. That's Federal Reserve rate day. Hopefully that can help us out a little bit. You can see that resistance level up here from that trend line. Ouch. Oh, ouch, yeah. Okie dokie. Okay, but if you guys have any coins or stuff you want to talk about or any concepts, let me know. This has been a very interesting day, but it's pretty much going off of what we talked about yesterday. We broke down below the 20 on the 4-hour chart. Let's see if we can still hold the support level here. Again, we really don't want to break down below the 50. That'd be the scenario where I think we start heading back down to that next level of support, or that next cluster, if you will, right down here. Other than that, if we do have some type of short-term high, you guys can always go to the daily chart, go from the lows over here, and add yourself on a fancy Fibonacci extension, or retracement, and see if we do end up coming back down here to about 21,226 or a little bit more. Okay, this is not a extension, this is a retracement tool here. So keeping a close eye on Bitcoin at this moment in time. It's worth watching, of course, but just keep a close eye on everything. We can go over to the 5-minute chart as far as Bitcoin's concerned, because we are getting really close, too close for comfort with this support level here. Because if the market does open up red tomorrow and it's not it's like a down at NASDAQ down 1% plus, Bitcoin will most likely break down here. So just be aware of that. As far as altcoins are concerned, let me just drag this out very fast. A lot of stuff is down about 0.5% to 1%. Nothing totally crazy just yet. Now, they're probably lower than, they're higher than percent losses from the relative highs we saw just over the past week. For example, Solana, from the high we experienced a couple days ago, it's down about 15%, 14.5%. Be aware of that, everybody, okay? Just be aware. Breaking down below the 50, it did it before. Nothing crazy happened. It actually pumped up because of Bitcoin. Just, be aware, everybody. Be aware. 5-minute chart over here. Let's see if we can get anything good. Yeah, there we go. If you guys want to look at any coins, let me know. And hey, guys, the crypto market going down. So far, we don't know if it's going to have some type of a major crash or not, but keep an eye out for the support level. That's going to give you a big indication of where we're going. If I was to look at the data we saw today as far as Microsoft and how that really just led to the futures kind of just going down drastically. Again, the NASDAQ futures down about 0.8%. S&P down about half a percent. And the Dow down about 0.25%. We don't really care about the Dow here, but those two, that doesn't really bode well for Bitcoin tomorrow. Let's hope, though, that there's something else that maybe I missed or something that we missed that brings the market back up tomorrow that makes it green. That'll save Bitcoin and give a nice little pop here. Primarily, though, if you want to see some support levels, it's going to be that long trend line that we've had over the past 14 months. Or to me, at this point, you could always go with instead the 50 moving average on the 4-hour chart, or the 20 moving average on the daily chart. Those are the few resistance levels, support levels that I really want to look for right now. But before we hit the 50, before we hit the 20 on the daily, we have to first worry about this trend line that we're looking at right now. We're about a few hundred points above it, pretty darn close. A nasty move could take us down, but for now, until the market opens up, hopefully it should be a nice level of support for us. Is the dead cat done bouncing? Let's see what happens with Tesla earnings tomorrow. To me, that'll be a big indication of where we're going, because if Tesla doesn't do well, the whole market will probably just be like crashing down. Because my Tesla theory is, remember, that bounce, then we start crashing later on. We'll have to see if we really do start crashing, though. Thoughts on the debt ceiling? I don't think it's going to cause too much pain right now. It'll cause more pain, I would say, starting in May and then June. I know Janet Yellen came out and said we reached the debt ceiling, or we were going to reach it last Thursday or whatnot. From what I personally think about, like how I think politics works and how how Janet Yellen works, so she's a total insider. I think that they just started that narrative out there on the news organizations because they found the super secret classified documents at Joe Biden's private house, and then they found more documents, and then they found more documents, and they found documents in another location. Then the FBI had to come in and do a 13-hour search. It just kind of spreads the narrative out. So they're not going to be talking primarily about Joe Biden's documents. They'll talk about Joe Biden's documents, Trump documents, George Santos, that Republican guy from New York, debt ceiling, and then now they have something else to talk about, which is Mike Pence had documents at his house too. I think it was more of a political play in that sense to kind of like tell the media, hey, go look at that. Here's a shiny new toy. Go look at that. And so I think it'll have an effect, but I don't really think it'll start showing its teeth until June or May, or excuse me, May or June. I think that the Biden administration is going to have to compromise. They've made a really ridiculous statement saying there's no compromise about the debt ceiling. You can't just say, I don't want to compromise, I don't want to negotiate. It comes off as unreasonable, right? Because I know Republicans aren't going to get everything they want to. I know Democrats are not going to get everything they want to, but they're going to have to try to find some solution here, and I just don't know what it's going to be. But I think as those negotiations start to gear up and get more tense again in more May and June, that's when I can see the market starting to get a little bit antsy about it and start freaking out. Because if we default, or we won't default, honestly, we won't default, but that uncertainty will cause some waves. I think, though, as far as the debt ceiling is concerned, we may shut down the government, but we might, or they just might do more extensions to say, hey, the government's open for the next 2 weeks. Hey, the government's open for the next 2 weeks. And kind of extending it until they get a deal done. But Republicans hold a lot of cards right now because I think they're okay with, I'm not entirely sure about this, depending on which Republicans you look at. I think some are okay with having a shutdown if President Biden keeps that stance that there's going to be no negotiations. Then that's what's going to happen there. But if President Biden starts to negotiate, then there's probably going to be some type of thing worked out. But President Biden's going to have to give. He's going to have to give up on this attempt to say no negotiations, right? We just lost this kind of debate with Germany about sending tanks over to Ukraine. Germany didn't want to send over their tanks without us sending over some tanks as well, even though we've sent over like billions and billions of freaking dollars, right? But they said, we want you to send your Abrams. And our Abrams tanks, I don't know if you guys have ever seen these tanks. These things are freaking amazing. I can't pronounce Abrams properly, but we'll just look at it here. There you go. Images. I mean, these things are just full-on beasts, right? These things are monsters. But the supply chain for these things sucks because they literally require jet fuel. So we didn't want to have to send these over there because that means we're going to have to send over jet fuel. We're going to have to train Ukrainians to use a very highly advanced tank. It's going to be a lot of trouble, a lot of money, just very hard for them to do, right? So we didn't want to do that, but in order to get Germany to send over their tanks as well, we kind of had to make that deal. I don't know if the deal's been finalized, but I know Germany pretty much has America over the barrel at this point, when they really shouldn't, but they do. It's kind of weird how that international politics works. But let me see. Let me see if there's a deal. German tanks. Yeah, U.S. and Germany ready to send tanks to Ukraine, reports. Officials say U.S. will send Ukraine tanks. Doomsday clock nears Armageddon. I don't know what the doomsday clock is. German Defense Minister Boris, can't pronounce that last name, said Tuesday that Berlin has not changed its position on whether to allow German-made Leopard 2 tanks to be sent to Ukraine or to permit other countries with German-made tanks to send their units to Kiev, speaking after a visit to Berlin by NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg. He said the government still needed to assess the situation. Let me go to this one from the BBC. Okay. Both the U.S. and Germany plan to send tanks to Ukraine after months of debate, according to media reports. U.S. President Joe Biden administration is expected to announce plans to send M1 Abrams tanks, and the German chancellor has reportedly decided to send at least 14 Leopard 2 tanks. 14 isn't a lot. But I guess we're probably not sending many tanks over there as well. Let's see. Washington has cited the intensive training and maintenance required for the high-tech Abrams. Let's see. Yeah. Citing anonymous sources, U.S. media outlets are reporting that announcement regarding Abrams shipments to Ukraine could come as soon as Wednesday. So let's look for it tomorrow, I guess. Right? I know it's not about the initial debt ceiling question, but at this point, Biden is not having many like wins of late, right? He's having better than expected losses, I would say, right? So I think that's kind of where the economy is at. We're having better than expected losses. I guess that's probably a good way to just say how everything's running at this point. But yeah, the debt ceiling to me it won't become a crucial thing until we start hitting May and June. We still got to file what's it? January, February, March, April. May, June. We still got some time. I think we still got some time. And hey, Caleb. Hope you're doing well. I'm watching to pull out some gains and buy back. Yeah, I'm pretty much I scaled out a long time ago, way too early, but I've been happy to kind of watch this move continue on higher here. I'm really positive they're going to raise it. Some guy on TikTok explained the dollar in relation to the debt really well, basically saying there's no such thing as a debt ceiling. Well, we can always default on the debt. That's a realistic thing. We can do that. We just won't. The thing is, what is given up for us to actually? Sorry, I keep on getting messages. What are Democrats going to cut, or what are Republicans going to force Democrats to cut in order to get that debt ceiling raised? That's really the thing here, because technically we could always just make more money and pay off the debt, but it would freak the market out too much. The dollar would start to crash. That may help out stocks a little bit, but the long run it would really just hurt a lot of people in America, right? So, I don't think we're going to default by any situation, but the uncertainty around the default is usually what moves the markets. It's not the because remember, guys, even when even when we locked down, I don't think we ever defaulted. Like, have we ever defaulted? I don't think so. Once in 1979 due to a computer backlog. So that was like clerical error or just computer error, not really us just saying, hey, we're not paying off the debt, right? This is as of 2012, and I don't think we defaulted any time since then. Yellen is the new Gingrich and drag. Oh, geez. What do you call it? Yellen, she's a total insider. She just gets paid a lot by Wall Streeters. That's what I don't like about her. So, a lot of the policies that she puts forth aren't necessarily best for Main Street. They're usually best for Wall Street. But, that's no matter which party you're in, that position usually has ties to Wall Street or banks or, it's just the way it is. And hey, Web 14 tanks are changing nothing. Aren't changing anything. Yeah, they're probably not, but they're a symbol, right? We're a lot about symbolizing right now. But I mean, like here, I didn't spell something right, but that's okay. 15th of March. Is this where we're at right now? Maybe. So you can see that Russia has quite a bit of territory. They conquered Crimea a long time ago, but it looks like so far this is the territory they've been able to get. The Donetsk and Luhansk regions, I think, were taken over a while ago, but it wasn't by Russia. It was by like Russia's forces. I don't know how to explain it, but these like independent little states that Russia has said, "Oh yeah, we'll defend you guys," right? So they're making progress, right? But Ukraine had a very good spring offensive, kicked Russia's butt out of certain areas, right? Like Kherson, that was the big headline battle I think that people were talking about. This spring, everybody keeps saying Russia's going to have another offensive. That means we have a few months to try to get some tanks out there, get them trained up on how to use those tanks, and then kind of guide them to use the tanks during the battle itself. That's going to be the hard part here, right? Because, like, let me see. So the M1 Abrams cost $6.21 million for one, estimated in 2016 as US it's $8.92 million with inflation adjustment. Produced, okay. Numbers built. We have approximately 10,400. Can a civilian own it? That's pretty cool. Let's see. Maybe just fuel. More than expected. Let's see. Thousands. So this thing takes a lot to maintain. It's like $100,000, 29. Maybe a couple $100,000 of just maintenance fees on this thing. I'm not entirely sure. Ammunition, fuel and lubricants, not too bad. Personnel training seems to be kind of expensive. Transportation, not too bad. This is probably in America, though, right? We don't need to get into the details of this tank. Probably the FBI is looking at my computer right now saying, what's this guy looking at Abrams tanks for? But I would say, yeah, the tanks aren't going to do too much, but they may be able to help in certain areas. So maybe if Ukraine starts getting attacked by Belarus, or maybe there's a major offensive going on and there's a large concentration of troops, perhaps those tanks can be very effective on a smaller battlefield or a part of the battlefield where maybe they're getting outflanked or whatever. Because I do know the Leopard tanks can go pretty fast, like I know like 30, 40 miles an hour. I know it's not like crazy fast, but it's good. Like how fast can the Abrams go? 45 miles an hour. And the Leprechauns run tanks. What is that? What is that to miles per hour? There you go. 43. About the same. They're about the same, right? But yeah, we're symbolically sending over tanks, so Germany will probably send over more. But I think Germany's going to send over some. Poland's going to send over some, right? So there should be more than 14 tanks, I believe. Hopefully, we can get up to 50 or something. Nice little, mini, some type of an amount. I don't know what that would be in battle terms, right? But like a battalion or whatever of tanks. There you go. Oh my God, Google hates that I'm searching so much on it. 56 tanks. Yeah, about a battalion. Okay, yeah, about a battalion. Maybe we can get a battalion or something like that over there with fully trained Ukrainian soldiers. That'd be kind of fun, or good. Not I want to say fun, but good. But I don't know if we're even going to get that many out there. Kevin, just print more money easy. And hey, for real, it's been defaulted for years. I mean, not really, but I mean, it's just, we don't really care about the debt, right? Whether you're Republican or Democrat, both parties have just kind of said, we'll keep spending money as long as the money goes to stuff we want. And that's kind of just the way it works. Only legitimate reason I think we had for the raising the debt over the past few years is probably being COVID under Trump. Obama probably needed to stimulate the economy after 2008 financial crisis, but I would say they kind of did it too much. But again, it's politics. If you want a good economy, you want to raise that debt. You want to spend money without taxing the people that you represent. That's the one of the faults of the current political system. People want to be reelected. Perhaps if they had term limits, or if they like ruled for life, something like that, which don't do it, but that may change the system. But the current system doesn't really, as of now, in the modern era, social media and stuff, it doesn't make sense to try to tax people higher rates. It's like, I'll cut your taxes, I'll cut your taxes, I'll cut your taxes, but I won't cut spending, right? Or I'll raise costs, I'll raise costs, I'll raise costs, or I'll raise spending, but I won't pay for it, but I won't pay for it, but I won't pay for it. Yeah, it depends on which side of the aisle you're on, but both sides kind of suck at this, honestly. I say this because more were destroyed in Syria with Turkey northern invasion using own Soviet coordinate systems. It might not do too hot with Russian reconnaissance drones, artillery, and air power. Yeah, I mean, I've seen that the drones have been doing a lot of damage to Ukraine right now. They've been dropping some nice little artillery shells on top of everything as well. You go look at some of these Ukrainian cities, and they're pretty much just like graveyards compared to what they were, right? Destroyed. Let me just look for an image. Right? This looks like something out of The Pianist, that good movie from a while ago, right? But like whole little squadrons are just gone. Like I feel bad for the cat and the lady, but like look at that building. That building is just right. I love that cat though. That's a really cool looking cat. But nothing really good going on here. Nobody's going to be living in there. I mean, they might, but they're not going to be liking it, right? People are trying to get some food. That's Royal Canine food. That's probably from America. We're giving them dog food. I like that. What do you call it? But yeah, so you can just see the whole town, the whole area is just completely demolished. If you're lucky to have a house on here, you're probably scared it's not going to survive a couple more weeks or a couple more months at this point. Send them some bows and arrows. I'm playing Red Dead 2 again this week, and I've been using bows and arrows quite a bit. Let's see. You think we're headed lower, bounce off the 22,250? Right now, to me, it really goes to the fact that tomorrow we have Tesla earnings. I don't know if their earnings are pre-market or post-market. Aftermarket close tomorrow. So I would say we probably go down or sideways. I doubt we have a green day tomorrow, to be honest. Unless we had some really good earnings reports today that will offer some other stuff. I can check it out for us very fast. Let's get this Ukraine stuff. So this is Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. 3M earnings. How did 3M do today? We can just look at the stock price. It'll tell us. After hours, nothing really happened, but today it dropped down 6%. So I'd probably say that was still a bad earnings report than if we didn't have a jump after going down 6% today. So 3M, that's a really large market cap play right there. The market cap is $63 billion. That wasn't good for that. So let's see. Here we got not much. Popped after hours, came back down after hours too. It's like good news turned to bad news when the calls happened. But it didn't really do much today, so not good news, not bad. I'll probably just chalk it up to not good. Not good, not bad, right? Capital One franchise. Here's something that should be interesting for us. Stock. Down 2%. That's not good. So let's kind of see anything else here. DR Horton, building materials. So home construction company. How'd they do? Maybe good? Not up 1% today. It really didn't have much of an impact. Maybe slightly down after hours. So not bad. Not good, but not bad. So that's kind of good as well because you would expect the housing situation to be kind of getting worse. It's not as bad as you would think. You can't sell a home, but you can still make a home and sell it because people want to buy it, right? But people that bought homes just a few years ago, they're not going to be selling it for a loss. That'd be crazy. General Electric, GE. Profit forecast weighed down by renewables. Forecast disappoints amid troubles at renewable energy business. Renewable energy. Yeah, Google does not like me searching so much. Just down a little bit though. Again, it was up 1% today, came down about 0.5%. Not good, not bad. Just meh. A lot of meh. What's some bad? Not really anything good. Excuse me. Halliburton. Look at a couple more of these. Kind of unch up about 0.025%, but down 1.8% today. Not good, not bad. Just kind of I go down here. Revenue tops estimates. That's good. Oh, but they're hiking their dividend. That's what's going to keep people in it. They're hiking their dividends. So that they know that people are not going to be wanting to own their stocks. And so usually everybody's kind of hiding in dividend plays, right? So if I go over here to Halliburton, what's their current dividend? About 1%. Oh, whoa, that's going to be a huge hike. Yeah, they're definitely going to want some money there. But I mean, look at Halliburton. It's not in a bad position. It's actually at some really good highs. Now, okay, of course, this is oil. We've been talking about oil for a while, but maybe they understand that if the oil market goes back down, this is the weekly chart. Perhaps, perhaps that people aren't going to want to choose this over stuff like PXD, which has the 10-11% dividend plays and things of that nature. We can look at one more thing here. Lockheed Martin. Let's look at two: Union Pacific and Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin stock. Google knows me, right? Up 1.5% today, about a little bit over, actually 1.73%. Down a little bit after hours. This is kind of just okay. Not bad, not great, but okay, but not meh. It's okay. It's decent, yeah. They're probably getting tons of money from the government though to make a bunch of arms and stuff for Ukraine. So they're probably just getting lucrative, crazy amounts of money from the government contracts. And the last one to look at is Union Pacific. We've been kind of talking about on and off the railroad strikes and stuff like that for the past year or so. So it'd be interesting to see how the stock did today. Probably doing well because of that contract. No, it actually went down 3% today. Wow. Underperforms market as fuel costs grow. How have oil prices been doing? I haven't been keeping track of them. I haven't even gotten gas in like the last 2 weeks. Watch list, I guess. Oil daily. Oh, oil's had a breakout. Oh, look at that. It did have a breakout. Not a really clean one though, because it broke out, came back down, then popped back up. But oil's found a little bit of a bottom back over here at 70. We're back up to 80. And if you guys remember, we'll go back to Bitcoin here, but we had talked about this for a while, that we had talked about OPEC. OPEC's range that they want to see oil at is between $70 and $80. And so they're kind of keeping it at that range right now. And it looks like America can't really do much there. And I know at the same time, America needs to refill our strategic oil reserves, because we kind of we did manipulate the oil markets, which is not a very good thing. We're very hypocritical about that now, but we manipulated the oil markets to get oil prices lower. And so by doing that, which is fine, it's a national interest after all, but it's going to be hard to tell other countries to not do the same thing, right? Or to do something different, be better when we didn't do that. Trying to think. Maybe with Venezuelan oil, maybe the market prices will come back down bit by bit. But oil prices have seemed like they've crept back up quite a bit. Not a lot, but from 60 to 70 back to 80. That's pretty substantial. And Agent O'Brien, yeah, Dogecoin Golden Cross should be interesting. The one thing just to be aware, you might see a scenario where Dogecoin bounces or does something really fun while the rest of the market isn't doing anything fun. So, but just be aware that if Bitcoin's crashing even after this cross happens, that what big move we might have had might be lost on top of that. So just be careful with Dogecoin. And a lot of these other plays right now, they're looking like they have all these big golden crosses, because even Bitcoin right now just had a golden cross here. We really didn't have a big movement yet. Let's hopefully we do. And over here, we're going to have that 50-day moving average cross over the 200 here pretty soon. That should be another nice golden cross. We'll have to be, paying attention to that nice and be paying attention to it quite a bit. Nasdaq will take a hit tomorrow, but the Dow should not go down near as much. No, the Dow has been perfectly fine throughout all this. Perfectly fine about all this. During all this, let me show it to you very fast. Now, I'm not really doing many options buys right now. It's been mostly day trading and kind of playing the waves and the simple breakouts. It's been the most profitable way that I've been able to make money so far. But everything else has been kind of tricky with these swing trades here, because we've had a good opportunity for swing trades, I would say, these past 2 weeks. But it kind of came out of nowhere, so I didn't really take any of those opportunities, because normally when you take those opportunities in this current market environment, we have a little bit of bad news and everything just comes crashing back down. I didn't want to kind of go back into that game. But mostly day trading for me, and it's been more profitable, I would say. But let's put this down very fast here. Well, I made my head go down below the camera thing, didn't I? So as far as the Dow Jones is concerned, we broke out a while ago, right? Broke out, been going more sideways. SPY hasn't broken out. NASDAQ hasn't broken out. Only the Dow Jones has. The Dow Jones is doing its own thing right now. It's not even at a major level of resistance. If anything, maybe you might find something. some support level like that. So maybe if we break down below that, I might be more concerned. But for now, am I missing anything? No. How the retracement's been on this. Didn't really honor that one at all. I could try to put this back over here. No, I didn't really honor anything at that point there. Let's try this one very fast. I mean, a little bit here, but not really what you want to see. Let's try this smaller one up here to there. Not much there. Maybe I should just go to the daily chart and make it easier on myself. Yeah, because then it's going to be one of these two, though. And I guess it worked there, it didn't work there, but that's a trend line, I guess. Didn't really work there, no. Maybe a little bit. But yeah, Fibonacci levels aren't even working too well right now for that. Maybe if I go back over here. Might have to go longer term at this point. No. Yeah, that's more like it. Let me just add this back up here. Maybe that'll change things up a little bit. A little bit. We're kind of around that zone right now, but as far as this is concerned, it really does remind me back of 2001, how the Dow wasn't doing as bad as the NASDAQ and everything. And just to refresh your memory, 2001, the Dow eventually had a nasty time, but you can see when the NASDAQ was crashing and burning. So just look at that. Dow Jones. Let's go to the monthly chart, actually. 2008 financial crisis definitely had a big move, but dot-com bubble didn't look too crazy. Meanwhile, if you go over to the NASDAQ, you can see the drastic difference between the NASDAQ and the SPY, right? Dow Jones will get bad when things really do get bad. That's kind of the flashing point. NASDAQ should start getting bad way before that. Excuse me. Back to the 5. There you go. I guess I could actually check to see if there's any divergences, but if there's any divergence, they'd be hidden bearish ones at this. Yeah. Oh, no, nothing right here so far. We had that nasty one right there. We did come back down a little bit, but nothing too crazy. The weeklies? Yeah, weeklies, but we haven't closed yet, so I won't take that into consideration just yet. 4 hour, we've had a little bit here. Really, that one seems to be the big one. These are just ones. I like to have at least 2 to 3. I don't take too much into the ones here. Yeah, even that one, I don't really put too much stock. It's more of a breakout play. Okay. There we go. All right. Hey, Byte Media, happy to see you back, man. And no worries, guys. I mean, I wish I had better news here. I was really hopeful that we might actually have a breakout tomorrow because of the good news that I thought was coming out with Microsoft. But as the Microsoft call came in, their guidance just seemed to get weaker and weaker. And you could even, if you guys were watching CNBC and Fox News at the time, they themselves were kind of irritated with the way Microsoft did this because, again, you saw that 4-5% pop off at the beginning when they announced earnings. But when the call happened, boom, 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 bad news, bad news, bad news, bad news. And that 5% gain just went to zero, went to negative. I don't exactly know why Microsoft did that. It was like nefarious, I don't think, but it was odd for them to do it that way. Look, go upstairs if you want to go upstairs, but stop whining. He's been whining a lot more lately, so I have to just ignore his whining. Just go through news. Just see. No. The street. The Redmond, Washington company. Yeah, it's not too far away from I am. That's the lowest revenue growth since the quarter that ended in June of 2016. The market wasn't doing too hot in 2016, if you guys remember there. And hey, Michael, what happened with Microsoft? Let's just kind of go through the story here. This will kind of take it, kind of explain what happened. Um, Microsoft sees Azure growth slowing down in the next quarters as customers try to save money on their existing applications running in the cloud. Um, Azure is their cloud platform, basically, like AWS for Amazon. That's why Amazon also tanked during after hours today. Basically, they beat on some stuff. Their cloud services beat expectations, but the guidance, the forward, what's going to be happening in the future, that's where everything kind of went down. But what happened with Microsoft today, that caused so much confusion, I would say, is as Microsoft announced earnings, they gave a lot of flowery stuff. Like they said, a lot of stuff was good, not bad, And they said they would have more information on the call, which they always do, right? But usually they put some of the bad news in with the good news at the beginning, and they didn't really put the bad news in the beginning of the call. So what you saw was an after hours chart that looked like this, where once the call came out, we had a very, I can keep that on for now. We had a very nice pop, like a 5% pop. It was beautiful. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what the market needed, because if they're seeing a really solid growth in their cloud streaming services, that means that Amazon should see the same thing, cloud software, Oracle, and those really huge market cap companies should really boost up the NASDAQ, and we should have a breakout here for the first time in a long time, thereby bringing Bitcoin up to $25,000, maybe $26,000, maybe $27,000, who knows, but a high amount. But as the call happened later in the day around 5:30, so quite a bit of time, like an hour and a half after the market closed, you saw that it wasn't actually such a rosy picture as they kind of showed at when they announced their results. And because of that, you saw the price afterwards just tank back down to even lower than where it closed off at, which is a concern. So you can be mad at the way they did this here. I'm sure upset about it, but I'm not going to be like, I'm going to forget about it tomorrow. Honestly, like what did I lose off of it? Not too much, just some emotional stress I gained. But now that this came back down, you also saw Amazon do the same thing in after hours. And because of all this, see, Amazon went even way lower here. But Amazon's earnings aren't even until, go to the daily chart. They're not even until over here, February 3rd, February 2nd. That's the same day we have Federal Reserve rate hikes. So now everybody's concerned that, if cloud services are going to be slowing down, that's pretty much one of the large revenue sources for a lot of these companies. So if that goes down, the stock price should automatically start going down, right? And people are reading into all this stuff, so it's kind of spreading like wildfire. And that's not good for crypto. It's not good for the traditional markets, especially because, again, we're at those massive levels of resistance that we needed to have good news if we wanted to really break out above them. And hey, Kevin, let's see Loki. We need proof of life. He's like, I'm standing up, so you guys can't really see him. He always kind of climbs up on me when I'm sitting down. Hold on a second. I can try. Okay. Okay. What's this? What's this? What's this? Maybe that. Let me put it around here. Got all the cords and stuff over here right now. Let's do this. Let's add another video capture device. Add new source. Video capture device 1. Let's have this be the Next Pro camera. And this looks very small for some reason. But let's give it a look. He's kind of blue because you can't see that the studio light that I have. He is alive and having fun and climbing up on me now and trying to bite me. As soon as I stop playing, he just starts looking because he knows he's not allowed to bite. Watch. Loki. As soon as I say he won't bite, now he starts to bite. He's acting feisty right now. Oh yeah, he wants to play. Well, see what happens when he catches his tail? He just doesn't know what to do. Good boy. Got some nice pearly whites too. He attacks me instead of the what do you call? I'll have her camera put down there or something so we can have a Loki cam or something. But yeah, he's doing fine. He's been having a lot of fun the past couple days. We've been spending a lot of time outside. Why is that? Why is that Adobe followed Microsoft? Is it because it's just a tech move? Yes, Adobe is all over the place. Adobe has like a fintech side of it. Adobe also has a lot of subscription models. So, if you guys don't know, I don't use Adobe Premiere anymore because Adobe Premiere costs a lot of money. It costs like $60 a month. Meanwhile, I can get DaVinci Resolve and it's free, right? So I was like, why do I got to keep spending money on this when I don't have to? I got to balance my budget too. Um, like how much does Adobe cost? Didn't spell that right, but that's okay. Pricing and memberships. Yeah, so it's like $55 a month to get everything. You can get everything kind of a la carte, but you can see how it adds up really fast. They moved over to the subscription model instead of just buy it for a year or just buy it, So now people are kind of obviously upset with them. And when you go into the subscription model, your revenue really does depend on the economy. People can buckle up a couple $100 for a one-time fee to pay for something, but if you want to get access to all this stuff and it's going to cost you $55 a month, that's I don't know. That's $660 a year. That's not even including the taxes. Add 10% on top of that. It's pretty hefty. um, and so people don't really like this new subscriber model, but a lot of other people have been doing it as well. You see, Microsoft has a subscribe model too. How do you spell freaking Microsoft? I should know. Soft prices. I think Microsoft is Office 635. Yeah. So see plans and pricing, not nearly as expensive. Keep that in mind with Microsoft. $3 a user per month. Oh, that's business. Non-profit. No. I just want normal plans. I'm not a small, mid-size. I just want a individual. There you go. 36 bucks for a month. Annual commitment. Annual commitment. Right. This one's $8 a month annual commitment. So I think this probably is what people are doing. Perhaps. And this is what you get. I don't know how it works out actually, but yeah. So everybody's kind of moved over to this subscription model, and it's not good. People don't like subscriptions, guys. We really don't like subscriptions. I don't know about you, but I just don't like subscriptions. Right now, Adobe's battling off with that 200 daily moving average, not really winning that battle at the moment. But you can see just had a breakout a few days ago. It's kind of had a little bit of a move. It could always come back down. Depending on how you guys want to see this, we have a level of support right there. Or we can just go off of the level of support way over here. I doubt we break down below this anytime soon, though. Right. But Adobe Cloud has a lot of different types of things working at it. Like, let's see. Bank with Adobe. Um, yeah. Digital marketing solutions with Adobe. Retail banking resources. So they have little fingers in a lot of different sectors, right? And as those sectors get hurt, you'll see a lot more pain hitting this. But right now, although it's come down quite a bit, don't get me wrong, we're at the levels of pre-COVID levels. Right now, we dropped way down below pre-COVID levels over here. We dropped to like the lows of COVID over here. Wow. It's definitely been overdue for a little bit of a rally. You saw the same thing with Netflix and stuff of that nature. But yeah, definitely not the best. Definitely not the best right now. But those subscription models, yeah, they can really suck. Good dog. Loki's a very, very good dog. He loves hanging out with all of you guys, or just me playing around. Now he's just laying down here. You guys can see it one more time. Um, oops, I clicked on something with my cord. There he is. Oh, you guys can't see because it's not zoomed in enough. Yeah, he's been a big old baby just laying down and having fun and trying to get a little nap in here before we go. Want to go outside? Now he's really tired. Geez, now. He wants belly rubs. He's preoccupied with whatever's down there. How do I do this? You can see the milk on my countertop. I had cereal today. Using a standing desk has been definitely very interesting. But this lactose-free Dairy Gold milk, what do you call it? $6. Freaking insane these days. All right, but okay, everybody, I'm going to end the stream here. It's been a good hour. There's not really much to talk about, everybody. You guys all know the major points. As far as Bitcoin's concerned, we don't want to break down below that 50 moving average on the 4-hour chart, and we don't want to break down below that trend line. Keep a close eye on the market tomorrow. From the news we saw today, it just wasn't good. It wasn't necessarily horrible, but it wasn't good. It was more meh. And meh at a level of crucial resistance usually ends up being bad news, okay? So hopefully Tesla can kind of help us out tomorrow, or if there's any other corporations coming out pre-market tomorrow, that might be able to help us out. But be very, very careful if any positions you guys have. I'm not telling you to sell. I'm just telling you guys, be careful, because if this really does go to a full rejection, altcoins are definitely going to have just a very, very bad time. And hey, Gator, probably to $20,000 if you really start tanking. We can always go a lot lower than that, but it always we'll have to wait and see how bad these earnings are going to be. Tesla could fix all of this tomorrow if they have a really good earnings report. Okay, and what type of dog is he? He is a white German Shepherd. He was here before I end off the stream here. I got it from these guys down in Olympia, a little farmhouse. I'm not spelling Olympia right at all. These guys, little pups, little cute little puppies. He only cost $1,500, which I consider to be a really good price for a German Shepherd. And that's his dad. I don't know if I can even zoom in to see his dad. Sometimes it doesn't let you zoom in that far, yeah. But yeah, his dad's pretty chill, if I can find him. Nice little big coat, a nice little coat. And his mom is this one, Zelda. Really a good mom as well. They got outdoor coats, though. Loki has an indoor coat because I always shit him because I don't like all of his hair. But yeah, hope you guys all have a good rest of your day, and get a dog if you can. I moved out of the city to have a dog because no apartment would allow me to have a German Shepherd, right? But guys, just watch out, because we are at a very crucial point, and we could definitely see a pretty nasty move coming down tomorrow. There's only a few different plays I see that are green on my screen, and it's really just STMX at this point, okay? So have a good day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.